Welcome to the FHA Software Video Training Series. This is Dwayne Tinsley with Simply Computer Software. With this video, we're going to look at the HUD features. And so let's get started. So I click on the icon, enter my user ID and password. The main window of FHA Software appears, and HUD, any and everything that has to do with HUD compliance, HUD certification entry is basically done in this pull down. And so to start off, we've got the Tenant Certification feature. Takes you into a find window. You select one of your tenants. Basically, you're in the data entry for your tenant certifications. Not going to take you to too much more detail. We've got other videos that do the step-by-steps, but tenant certification data entry, 95% of your time is going to be done in the tenant certification entry feature. That's where all the tenant changes are basically entered. Next section, anything to do with your Hap Request Voucher. So we've got generating the voucher. You pull up this window, and this is where you would go in to print your voucher. When you do, it creates your tenant and voucher mat files. You can also in here, you don't have to print the whole thing out. You can see any page that's applicable to your voucher. You can go right in and look. You don't have to print the whole voucher out. But it's all done here. And like I say, when you print the entire voucher, your mat files are automatically created, and you just simply send them off. So we'll get out of here. Likewise, you can review your Hap voucher history. So every time you print your voucher, they're all going to be listed here with what was in the voucher itself. You can view them, see all the detail that's included. You can also post your vouchers to your accounting feature. And so in entering and recording your vouchers into the accounting, it's automatically done. So once you've got a voucher that's been submitted and accepted, you can simply click on the post voucher button, and it's automatically posted to your accounting feature. So it's a cool feature. You can also print a bunch of summaries for a year, whatever you want to see. You can see a list and a nice neat summary of all your vouchers. So the Hap voucher history does that. Likewise, Section 8 special claims, repayment agreements, miscellaneous accounting. So those are all features that are part of voucher processing. So Section 8 special claims, when you move a tenant out or when you vacate a unit, it automatically creates an entry for you, and then you can take it from there and process your special claims. The repayment agreements is also part. And so basically, anytime you activate a certification that was required because of EIV or something like that, or your tenants maybe didn't provide you with the right income or whatever, you basically have the ability to process and enter repayment agreements. And so this is an example of the screen. And again, we'll get into more detail in other videos. And so repayment agreements. And the other option was miscellaneous accounting. So same thing, miscellaneous accounting. Whatever is miscellaneous accounting, you come in here. And with everything, your Section 8 special claims, your repayment agreements, and your miscellaneous accounting, you're always assigning an anticipated voucher date. So once you do and you're done, that's it. When you print out your voucher, they're automatically going to be on the voucher that they were targeting. So real simple process. Then we got review changes to tenant assistance. Every single tenant change you've recorded, started to record, or activated will be listed here, and you can get a ton of reports that show the status of whether they've been fully activated, whether they've been submitted on a voucher request to tracks. You'll have all the dates and things like that. So very neat feature to know where you're at in your tenant changes. So that was Hap Request Voucher. You got an Access Income Report. that provides all that detail for the project types that are necessary for that. I think HUD Section 236 does that. Let's see, excess income. We got your race and ethnicity reporting. Tenant rent analysis. That's a thing that our program will help analyze your project, let you know of things that may or may not be right or correct or whatever. So if we were going to be looking at the September voucher, before you do that, you'd want to do an analysis. So let's make it bigger so we can all see it. And basically it analyzes your project based on what's in effect on the first day of that month. And you'll be able to see if your tenants have expired certs. If the contract isn't fully implemented, you can see the total here. Rent plus HAP minus utility refund or vacancy loss equals this amount. It should equal your contract rent rate. So if these totals at the bottom do not match, that means there's something wrong with the contract rent that is basically supposed to be in effect. So nice, neat analysis. There's lots of things that it will provide, but we provide an analysis that helps keep the information accurate. Income targeting. It's a report that identifies the percentage of move-ins that are targeted to being extremely low income. So it's a neat report. Got your manual, and so your HUD 4350.3 manual is part of your program. We basically take the PDF files right out of HUD clips whenever they make changes to always make sure you've got the latest and greatest sections of your manual at all times. Tracks map file submissions. Any and everything that has to do with electronic submission to and from tracks in the IMAX system. So in this, we've got, you can see your tenant changes, your vouchers that you've basically created and submitted. Mat file conversion utility. Our program can basically create your property and import all the tenant changes that are in your other software vendors. So if you're thinking of switching software, you create a history baseline mat file in your other software. Our program can read it in, a couple mouse clicks, and you've got all the tenant changes that were in your other software are now part of your FHA software program. You don't have to upload or manually add anything as far as your tenant changes. And that's basically a history baseline mat file will provide 5 years worth of tenant changes. So that's a good feature. It's free in our software. It's menu driven, and it really simplifies getting your project created in FHA software. Your projects, your HUD projects, could be created in your FHA software program within hours instead of days or weeks. So it's a real good feature. HUD unit number conversion utility. You may be, your projects could be an RD, HUD, or tax credit project, and when you electronically submit to RD, HUD, and tax credit, your unit numbers may not be the same in whatever system, RD, HUD, or tax credit that you're submitting to. So we got a feature here that will automatically make sure that the HUD numbers that you're submitting to tracks in your vouchers and in your certifications and things like that always match what's in tracks or your HUD contract administrator system. 202 info. 202D is the current tracks mat file release, but basically the information and error message reference. A lot of this is just stuff we get as software vendors. You may not have access to some of this information directly, so we provide them to you. Tracks operating tips. This is HUD's and Tracks' way of explaining what should be submitted for whatever scenario you have. Corrections and things like that. So all this stuff, all the error messages and things like that. Filling out a 5.9, you have questions about filling out a 5.9 or a 5.9A, which is the partial cert. Special claims processing, we include this additional information in the program as well. IMAX communications, that's our feature for electronically submitting your information to and from Trax or IMAX. And so, and again, we'll get into more detail on submitting and retrieving messages with other video training series that we have. So anyway, IMAX, and then you can go right to the HUD Trax website from our program to do EIV, to look at other things, but we provide that link as well. If you're 100% HUD, you've got some financial reports. We provide those reports. It's very simple to access them. We provide the HUD chart of accounts that you can copy, and then you can customize, add to or from the chart of accounts itself. The HUD chart of account associations, that's basically, let's see what it looks like. It basically is what tells the program how to fill in your financial reports that you submit to HUD. And so you can have multiple account numbers or different account numbers. Maybe the chart of account you use and you load into the program are not necessarily HUD's chart of accounts, which does have specific chart of account numbering. So this is a way of basically interpreting your chart of accounts so it accurately reports your dollar amounts on the financial reports that you're going to be submitting through HUD or generating through our program and submitting to HUD. Bank balance summary. I don't know if I've got accurate information in here. You pick your project and the month, you click on retrieve, and basically it displays, I don't have actual information in here, but we'll display your bank balances, and you can do it for all your projects at the same time. So bank balance summary, a way of easily getting quickly your bank balances for your HUD related properties. Management fee calculation, feature here, pick a month. And then basically you got two methods. You got occupied units, so it could be based on occupied units. You might have an actual rate for occupied units based on the first of the month, or any unit occupied during the month. Then you also have based on rent collected, so it could be a percentage of revenue that you base your management fee calculation on. So that's a good feature. And so for HUD, that's pretty much as it relates to HUD. You do have other things that are HUD related, doing your recertification notices. We'll go into that when we look at reports and other video training series. Accounting, of course, would be related to HUD. Data, you got like waiting list. Let's look at waiting list real quick. So you pick, and you basically, when you do your reports, your waiting list summary, the summary listing is primarily used for HUD waiting list compliance, in addition to anything else you want to keep track of, but that would pertain to HUD. And then let's see, customizing your letters, your annual 120-day, 90, 60, 30-day letters, things like that. You can customize. We have a dashboard. I'll show you that. That keeps track of, your occupancy, your pending verifications, certifications, things like that you can view as well. So anyway, this is, or was, HUD. Our HUD features, a little overview of the HUD features that are provided with FHA software. So basically, if you have any other questions or anything like that, feel free to email us, and we'd be happy to provide you with more information. Monitor our video training series page for more FHA software related feature details. Otherwise, thank you very much.